Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Okando. Um, my name is Daniel Omonoba, the secretary. Here with us is Mr. Peter Abiri. He works with MPA, presently in Tinker Island, and is a traffic manager in Tinker Island. He has his work experience span across the NPA value chain. He has worked in Warri before now, Abiri. And Mr. Peter has 30 years experience in the sector, and he has BSc in economics, MSc Maritime and International Studies, Catfish Wales. He's a professional member of ASSP, and also a member of MCILT, MILDM, and MMIS. So thank you very much. That's a few intro we have for him. We'll now open the floor for him to give his presentation. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter.
Okay, Mr. Daniel, thank you very much. And Doctor, it's a pleasure welcoming me on the platform. And I thank the President for giving me the privilege to be on board as well too. I thank Ambassador Napodia, who introduced me to the series. Yes, to commence the knowledge sharing, is all about safety and security in the maritime domain. About when you look at safety, there's no way you cannot talk about security. And when you talk about security, there's no way you not talk about safety. They synchronize together. Safety is about being safe. It's about getting yourself away from injury or danger or loss. And to be secured as well too is like you are being secured from problem, from injury, and your being safe is to be secured in an environment that is conducive. So safety is just about the protection of life and property, and is about the regulations and the way security of our environment and where we work is being taken care of by either our employers and the government at large. We talk about the safety of the passengers, the crew, the resident that lives in and around the coastal environment, around the port environment, and places where marine life takes place. Marine life spans the coastal region of Nigeria, where you have basic economy of Nigeria that is being taken care of. For instance, when you look at the marine life of the South-South, we look at the marine life of the Southeast, the marine life of the Southwest area. That is where the economy of Nigeria, tap its root and is the engine of the economy. We are more, the shipping industry as well too, that is the epitome of marine life, is in the coastal region. There's no way you can have marine life in the desert area. So safety in maritime sector or a marine area entails a lot of things, and through this area, you have to be careful of smuggling of weapons into the country. You have to be wary of piracy at sea, and you have to be wary of the protection of the people that are around where you work, more especially the coastal regions. The people that live mostly in the coastal regions are basically people that will have to know how to swim, and they have to know how to take care of themselves in case of floods and the like. When you look at the complexity of maritime security as well too, it entails a series of things that has to be taken care of, and that is in the area of the piracy of the environment by the pirates. If you check through the slide, you will see the picture of some people that basically they call them the Greek generals. They are the agents of, call them the agents of destruction of property and people that distort the environment. That is the pirates. They basically in smuggling of weapons, piracy, stowage of items from either vessels, and they kidnap the crew members for a ransom. So in most cases, the security of people that works in the marine area, more especially of vessels, has to be taken care of. And to work in the marine region or to work on vessel has to be a place where you have to be able to know how to swim. You have to know how to swim. If you don't know how to swim, if there's any problem of pirates coming on board the vessel, the person might have a problem in getting away from the pirates. You have to know how to swim, and you should not be able to swim alone, because in most cases, swimming alone might cause a lot of havoc. And you have to check the level of the water which you are diving yourself into. And more especially in the places where you have to swim, it is not advisable to swim when you are hungry, or when you have just eaten, or when you have drunk alcohol, because all this one impair your ability to move inside water, because swimming entails a lot of exercise of the eyes, exercise of your legs, exercise of your hand and the body system. So in most cases, somebody that has to work in the marine environment or on vessel must know that swimming is the first thing it has to take into cognizance. And if you are not able to swim and you want to work in the marine environment, it is better for you to go and learn how to swim. And that's the first thing. And you have to learn how to swim very well. Because if you are not able to swim very well, it might entail having problem. Yes, if we now go to the general rules of safety, you have to know how to perform the job you have to do very well. For instance, if you have to work in a safety-related environment or a marine-related environment, it's not just about saying I went to school, I have a degree. No, it has to be that you have to have done overboard internship in that particular area. The overboard internship is to know more about the basic aspect of that profession. Like somebody wants to be a seafarer. It's not just because you can swim, or it's not just because you can tie the rope or do some mooring on vessels that makes you to be a seafarer. You have to go specifically into the mooring aspect of the job. And again, if you have to work on board vessel as an engineer, or as a caterer, as a chef, as the crew member, it is better for you to learn the basic knowledge of the job. It's not just that I like working on vessel that makes one to go to that place. You have to have a general knowledge of the job you have to perform and know the safety procedure that goes with that particular job. And you have to be sure of the hazards that follow that particular job as well too, and the way by which you go about averting those hazards, because those ones are paramount to being safe and to being secured in that same job you have to do. You have to know how to report incidents, how to avert injuries, and how to avert misses or loss of either properties, items, and items that will impair on the job, that will impair on your safe working in the environment, and impair on even the health of your co-workers, because those safety entails all those particular area, and it entails the security and to be secured in that particular area as well too. For instance, you are looking at the kind of protective gears you need to have while you are working at the safety regulated environment. There are certain things they call the PPE. A lot of people may not know the embodiments of what is called PPE. That's the personal protective equipment. And a lot of other people might think that just to have the helmet might be just to be safe, or just to have a shoe. No, I enumerated some PPE items for somebody who want to work in a safety or a marine environment. This will include a safety helmet, to have a shoe that is ideal for that particular job. It's still that have a boot which is better, which can withstand nails, hard knots, and the like, which will not be hurting on the legs while you are moving or while you are doing your job, and which will not be tightened too long. You have to have goggles. At least either you are an iron bender or you want to dive into the water to swim, you have to have goggles to be able to nose yourself with. You have to have earmuffs. Earmuffs is the one that you put ahead of yourself and you use to cover your ear, so that you will not, have hair loss, or you not have hair impairment. So all these ones are very necessary when you want to work in a safe environment. You have to have safety harnesses. You have to have a life jacket. You have to have life rafts. All these equipments are mandatory for people that have to work in marine environment. There are people that have to work in a safe area, and you have to know that fatalities are near to not being safe or not being secured. So you have to always stand clear of loads around where you are working, so that loads might not either fall on the person or crack somebody's legs in a way. So, like we were saying before, to be able to work in a marine environment, those are the safety rules that has to be taken care of. Then you look at the element of successful safety program. The element of successful safety program that will make you to work in an environment that is safe and secured is to have the safety culture of that particular company. What do you mean by safety culture? It's like when you want to work in Shell, you want to work in Chevron, you want to work at Shell, you want to work at maybe ELF, you want to work at maybe, for instance, MPA and the like, which are basically companies that deals with water or that is around water. You have to know the safety culture of that particular company. How do they do their safety program? Do they have any special safety program they do, or do they know about the safety of their employees? Do they take the safety of their employees very seriously? And do they take the security of their employees very seriously as well? Because it's to be in a secure environment matters a lot. More importantly, you have to look at the employee training and the empowerment program, at least, so that it won't be just that you go to a place of work is only about earning salary and not having a career in that particular place of work. You have to look at empowerment of that particular place. What are the empowerment program procedures that are put in place to be able to work properly in a place? It's not just to collect the salary. It's not just to say, yes, I go to work, I come back in the evening, or I am being placed on employment to work at night or to work at day. If you are working at night, what are the kind of empowerment, or what are the kind of safety procedure that have been put in place for the people that will work at night? What are those ones that have been put in place for the people that work in the daytime? And what are those that will be put in place for those that will have injury during or after or outside the work environment? Are you just going to work and anytime you have an injury, you're going to take care of yourself in an hospital? Or they have maybe a retainership in some hospitals that they use, whereby at any point in time when anybody is sick or has an injury, it has an hospital where he could just go and register himself and he'll be treated. Not just that maybe, yes, I'm sick, I have to go to hospital by myself, and the place of work where you work, that's the company, will not know about it. No, you have to look at the empowerment that is put in place for the kind of work you are doing. Then what about the hazard identification and control system? At least there should be a lot of signages, that are supposed to be put in place in the place where you need to work. The signages will determine and will ascribe the type of hazards that need to be wary of, the hazard that you need to know, the hazard that you need to be conditioned with, and the one that you need to be away from, so that it won't be that maybe this thing will have happened and you now begin to wonder, I don't know that this thing was there before, or there was no sign for you to have known where to be careful and where to be careful. So the hazard identification and the control systems have to be properly annexed to the employers that will be working in that particular environment. And the training of that's supposed to have been taken care of before the employer will actually commence work. Because there should be a kind of a training session for like maybe about a month when the person is to be employed, or when the person is employed, that, okay, this is our safety culture. This is how to control hazards in case there's any accident. These are the things you need to do. These are the ways you need to go about them. And these are the things you need to work towards. And these are these signs that you are seeing means a lot. This particular one means this other one means that. And you have to take cognizance of this particular area when you are walking, when you are moving, and when there's no light, what you need to do and when you know what to do. So, and the compliance of all these particular identifications, the training, the culture have to be in consonance with the area and the company you are working for. The compliance of the hazards, the compliance of the training, the compliance of the empowerment, the compliance of the culture that is put in place, because there's no company that does not have its own culture. And the culture determines the way the company is being identified with. The culture of Shell is different from the culture of Chevron. The culture of ELF is different from that of MPA, and vice versa like that. So each person, each company has its own culture and its own identification and compliance nature. Yes, when we go to these areas of safety and security, you can go to the first slide again. I want to move you back to the first slide. We're talking about the safety and the security where you have issues about problems that emanate with security and safety in the marine environment. Most of the challenges we have is that of smuggling. Another one is that of stowage of illegal immigrants. Stowage of illegal immigrants, as in people that want to get away from the country through illegal means, and they will now go and hide themselves in the vessel while the vessel is still at the part of a particular country. For instance, maybe in Nigeria, like either in Warri or in Port Harcourt or in One, and you just say that somebody will go into that vessel unknowingly, like maybe people will now hide themselves as part of the people that are working, and before you know it, is already in that particular ship, either in one of the hash, and when the vessel is going, nobody will know that he's hiding there. It's only when the vessel is already away into the high sea that he will show himself up. So they call them stowaways. They are illegal immigrants. And another challenge is that to safeguard the ships in conflicted waters. How do you safeguard your vessel in conflicted waters, as in when there is storm and when you have piracy? How do you safeguard your crew? How do you safeguard the items you have? That is the the goods you are carrying to a particular country. There might be an information that the particular ship has a particular good which is highly political, highly criticized, or is highly priced, and the pilots will have information that okay, it's a particular ship that is bringing that particular cargo. So you have to safeguard the cargo, the vessel, the crew that are on board that particular ship, and the way the pirates attack vessel, they attack mostly at night. They attack mostly at night when people have been asleep. Before you know it, they're already on top of the vessel and they begin to shoot or gag people about. Then you have the terrorist attack either on board vessels or at the marine area, whereby they want to terrorize the country or they want to terrorize the people that are living in that particular area. Then you have the disasters that emanates with the marine of the region. So most of these things are challenges that that emanates with the safety and security of employees that works in maritime sector. Yeah, I can see that my time is going. Let me talk briefly about the levels of safety we have in the port environment and in in the safe environment where you have maritime sector. I want to talk about the levels of maritime security. The level of maritime security are diverse from country to country, from region to region, and from port to port. But mostly within the Nigerian sector, most of the maritime security we have is the level 1 security, which is a secured environment. We have a secured environment in Nigeria, and that's where we have level 1 security. You cannot compare our kind of security to that of other countries where you have everybody carrying gun or everybody's wary of their secured life. So in Nigeria, we have level 1 security. You have the covert security, which is level 2, and you have the forensic security, which is level 3. Which even the way we have the highest number of pirates in West African sub-region, we still have level 1 security, because you cannot compare the kind of magnitude of our shipping to that of either Ghana or Sierra Leone or Liberia or the like, which are maritime sector, and the number of pirates that we have here, we are still in the level 1 security. If you look at level 1 security, or for instance, when you look at the combination of the security, is they provide comprehensive security coverage for identities and related documents to ensure how valid or how authenticated somebody is to be able to enter an environment. For instance, you cannot enter a secured environment in Shell or MPA if you don't have identity card. With your identity card, they will allow you in, or they will allow you in if they search yourself and they don't see any object that has that is like weapon, maybe a knife, a scissors, or they see a dagger, they will not allow that person in. So in most cases, they believe people does not go about with dagger or with weapons of mass destruction or with guns. So in most cases, the level 1 security surface in Nigeria, in Nigerian ports, in the marine area of the country. So when you look at the kind of security that you need to look into, it's just like a surface data. The surface data entails that you just have to identify yourself either with your face or with an ID card. And that is about enough. And they feel that the internal security of that particular company or that particular area is enough to identify someone that has come in to smuggle or to do a robbery or whatever. But when you come to level 2 security, level 2 security is a place whereby you have to have either your kind of magnetic chips. You have to have magnetic strips, or you have to have a smart chip, or you have to do a data of your layer of your hand, whereby they have to look at screen your face or scan your face before you have to go in. And that's where you have the smart chips. And if you go to the forensic data, that is a more specialized area. That one is a more specialized area of security, whereby almost the three things, almost the two other kind of security are embedded together to become forensic. Everything that has to be done in that place is in a forensic manner, so that they have to text you, they have to check your identity, check where you are coming from, check who you are before you be allowed in. So in those areas, it's like your identity, your biodata, your chips, and the frequency of your movement must have to be identified before they will allow you in. So in a nutshell, security and safety in a marine environment and in the place where maritime takes place is very magnitude and is a very pivotal to either the employees and the employers. So both the employees and the employers have to be secured. The employees will have to want to work in the secured and safe environment. And the employers too want to employ people that are tend to be safe conscious, that have safety consciousness, that is prone to safety. It's not somebody that have negligence in handling issues. So both the employer and the employees manage the safety and security of the company and the employers they employ. So to be in the safe environment is to be conscious of the safety procedure of that particular company, is to be conscious of the safety procedure of the environment where you're working, is to be conscious of the safety procedure of even the nation and the situation of facts. And the employees to the employers to have to be conscious of the environment and the safe procedure of the employees they have to take. And by and large, it is you have in Nigeria, you have the Marine Police, you have the Navy, and you have NIMASA, that is the Nigerian Maritime Engineering and Safety Agency, that anchors safety and security within the marine periphery. We are the one that is embedded with training. They are the one that is embedded with employers of labor in the marine sector, and they are the ones that controls both the regulations, the policy, and everything that is being determined in the maritime sector. So NIMASA has a vital role to play in enabling environment and making maritime safety pivotal to the Nigerian and to the people that have to work in an environment that is safe. More importantly, their role is being taken care of by both the Nigerian police, that's in the marine sector, and the Navy. For instance, Navy is more or less about working in maritime area, securing the national security, securing the economy of the country through the water, and they call it blue economy. So the Navy is the anchor of security in the environment of marine. And the marine police is just in the civil aspect of it. But when you look at the national security of the blue water, is the naval you have to look into. And these set of people, they secure the national security, the marine environment, the economic development, and the human security within and without the maritime area, and that is the coastal area. By and large, to sustain the four aspects of the economy in the area of security, environment, and economic development and human security, all the regulatory agencies like the NIMASA, the Nigerian Ports Authority, like other MDAs, it is better for them to have an evolving and a synergized way of working together and collaborate in enforcing and making their legal framework and the policy they have in a way that an average Nigerian, an average employee in the maritime area works in a safe and a secured environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. So over to you, Dr. Okan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abiri. That was a very wonderful presentation. I noted a particular terminology during the course of your presentation, and that is sea generals. Immediately you mentioned sea generals, I said, what does sea generals mean? Then I saw sea pirates. I used to know that sometimes we call these sea big boys.
Yes.
So
the Greek general.
When you say sea general, I say, okay, it's another terminology I've gathered today. You know, then it's a continuous thing. Yes. And then to work in a marine, you must know how to swim. Somebody like me that does not know how to swim very well, so I need to know how to swim. And then you must not swim alone, and you must also have a fair knowledge of the level of water. And then you don't need to swim when you are hungry or when you overfeed. And then you must have a basic knowledge of the job and corresponding hazards, the types of PPE. And then the culture determine the identification of an organization. And you also made mention of security flashpoints, piracy, storage, smuggling, terrorist attack, environmental disaster, and all that. And you cran it up with the levels of maritime security, 3 levels specifically. You've opened my personal knowledge today into maritime environment and learning. Thank you so much. And I believe all the participants must have had one thing or the other to go home with this evening. So we'll give time for questions now. So Secretary, please coordinate.
Okay, please, participants, if you have question, raise your hand. Let's take it, please.
Yes, sir. My sec.
Oh, okay. P, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thanks to presenter, sir. So my question is, though I was not being able to, I started following, but due to some circumstances, I couldn't finish up. My question is, I wanted to ask concerning working in a terminal, how could someone make safety measures of swimming? It's like, I would like to know more about safety in swimming.
Do you, okay. if I get your question, do you mean a port terminal or which type of terminal are you referring to? Do you mean a jet terminal, a port terminal, or a general terminal? Which of the terminals?
Offshore.
Come again.
I think what he's trying to say, if you are in a skid, in a offshore environment.
Okay, offshore environment. Yes. If it's offshore terminal environment.
Hello? It's cutting off. Hello?
Yes, can hear you, President.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay.
We can hear you, President-elect.
All right. Okay, I mean in general terminals. Generally.
Okay. If it's general terminal, you need to have basic knowledge of safety procedure. Generally. Generally about the safety procedure of that particular environment where you want to work.
Okay.
The kind of job you need to do and the hazard that entails that particular job.
Okay.
The injuries that may be sustained and how to take care of those injuries.
Okay.
But to be in line with, it's like when you want to work at night, what is the basic thing you need to have at hand is a torchlight. So,
torchlight.
And torchlight is part of PPE.
Oh, wow.
So when you're looking at working in an environment, you have to look at the PPE entails that particular job.
Exactly.
And you have to be encroached with the PPE that will make you succeed on the job. Okay. Because if you don't have the required PPE, working in that environment will be hazardous. And when there is near misses or injuries or incidents, because the fatality of that injury will be much if you are not with the right protective that you're supposed to have. And that's the right personal protective equipment. But if you have the right personal protective equipment, the fatality will be less.
Okay.
That's one. But the basic aspect of other things is that you have to have a fair knowledge. When they say fair knowledge, at least 50% knowledge of the kind of jobs you want to do. For instance, sometime in June, somewhere around Warri, on a particular vessel I will not mention, the mooring men, a white man and a Nigerian, they were trying to moor the vessel and lash the rope. If the mooring man has known what to do when a rope is slacked, the man will not have been dead. But because he doesn't know that when you slack a rope, you need to get away from that rope, because at any point in time, the wave of the vessel, the wave of the sea might jack the rope away from being slack, and it might tighten. And with the moment it tightens up, the next thing is that anything on its way will be cut off. As if to say you see a bomb coming around. The man died immediately because the moment the rope slacked off and tightened, it just jacked up the man. Within seconds, the man was dead. The white man has his leg amputated immediately, within 1 minute, his leg was cut off.
Oh.
So you need to know, you need to have a fair knowledge of the kind of job you have to do. Don't say because you are looking for a job, don't say because you've been looking for a job for a long time and you've gotten a job. You have to find out what is the procedure, safety procedure, and what is the safety culture of this particular company. What do I need to know? What are the kind of hazards I need to comply with? What are the control system of the hazards? What do I focus on? How do you empower me? How do you train me before I start? Because getting the job is not just enough. Being empowered and being trained on that particular job is about doing the job properly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Very
Thank you, sir.
much.
Let's take Mr. Fabio.
I think I want to throw light to that question. Thank you, presenter. For the question, just as you said, it's good for us to ensure that we know exactly what to do. Now, in marine, there's an induction course, and there is always safety brief. And because you could carry people in your vessels that don't know totally anything about marine, you don't just put them on the vessel. So you give them safety brief, and there are guidance to how to be able to travel. But if you are to work and you've never worked before, there are certification courses your employees would need to either pay for you or you need to do to be able to get yourself acquainted to the marine environment. Just as our presenter said, you just can't take up an employment on the marine and just start working without knowing the safety cultures, without knowing the precautions that related to the job. So there's always an induction program for all new employees, and there is a cadre for you to be able to grow your career path in safety marine.
Thank you. All the
Mr. Essien, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Presenter, for that exposure you've given on safety and security in the marine environment. Yeah, but I carefully listened, and I don't know whether I missed out from the presentation, but it seems to me that most of the precautions that I heard from you were mostly about security around the port to stop intruders into the vessels or stow away and all that. In terms of piracy, which we know that is very high around the Gulf of Guinea and some other places, what are those things that are put in place by NIMASA or the NPA or the Nigerian Navy to ensure safety of the vessels and of the crews? And what are those precautions within the vessels that also will help to deter and to the piracies from having to climb or board the vessels and for kidnap? So I think those are very important aspects that we'll definitely want to know from the ports to the fairway ball and up to 100 nautical miles from the port. So thank you. I'll be glad if I can have some of those issues addressed.
Okay. The where you picked was the last lap of the lecture. That is the types of levels of maritime security within the port environment is the last lap, and that last lap entails the security we have within the country, even in all other safety and marine companies. For instance, the Shell, if you go to Shell today, or you go to Chevron, when you get to the gates, look at their board, and you will see that they will tell you the kind of security level they are in, either level 1, level 2, or level 3. But generally in Nigeria, it is level 1 that we are in. You can go to any of the oil companies' terminals with your ID card. You can go to any of the gates of any oil terminals just to get in touch with the security at the gate and tell them, please, I'm looking for so and so and so person. What they will tell you is, wait, let us call that person for you. You speak with the person. If the person tells you to come inside, they will allow you to go inside. That is the level we are in the country. And in the ports, generally, the level we are in is level 1 as well too. The level 1 entails individuals just with their ID card to enter the port, either with the ID card of the port or with the ID card of the company that registered with the port. If it's a company that registered with the port and is an employee of that particular company that registered with the port, the port officials allow that person into the port environment. Unlike in some other countries where you have level 2, that they will have to check your biodata, they will have to check your face, they have to check your smart card, they have to tell you to scan the person, either scan for metals and the like. We are not in that particular development in Nigeria. That is what I was trying to say in regards of the levels of maritime security we have in Nigeria. Now, come to the second part of your question. What have the country put in place to avert smuggling and piracy of the vessels from about 100 nautical miles from the fairway port? That is why the Nigerian government, through the Navy, have secured the area. You see the Marine Police and the Nigerian Navy patrolling those areas. There's no way in between the patrols, you will not see some overt people, overt generals, the generals that will not avert security tactics. And most of the people, most of all these piracy are either retired security personnel or dismissed security personnel who has the knowledge of how the water is secured. It's like when you look at the way armed robbery takes place within the country, it's like there must be an information from inside, either inside of the compound or inside of the house or inside of the family, that know that maybe the man or the family member have something or has gone to the bank or somebody might have given an information. So it's like the pirates do have knowledge or an information as regards a particular vessel, as regards what they want to do piracy on. So they work their way out and they try to avert or to circumvent the security operatives that are in place. But by and large, the Nigerian Navy, the Marine Police, the NIMASA security personnel are always on patrol. They are always on patrol on the Nigerian water to secure the water, to secure the vessels, and to make sure that the vessels get to the ports and get out of the ports onto the sea within a safe period. Did I answer your question?
Okay, thank you. I guess Mr. Padre, are you?
Yeah, but I think the last part of the question, what are those security or safety mechanisms they have within the vessels that also?
Okay, yes, the safety apparatus that the vessels have to make sure that their vessels are secured. Yes, there's no vessel that you not see any radio frequency identification procedure on that particular vessel. All vessels that are of international nature have the radio frequency identification procedure, whereby from within and around that particular vessel, they scan their area with CCTV in such a way that they will know if there is going to be a piracy that abounds or that is about to happen, and they will radio the nearest security apparatus, either close to the port or around the port, or they will radio the Navy command, the Navy control center, that okay, they are beginning to sense that there are some people that are parading their vessel. It is where the either information gets to the control mates or the person, the company, I mean, the ship did not notify or did not see the pirates early enough that the piracy takes place. Because most pirates, what they do is that first, they are able to swim. They can swim very well. They swim in such a way that you may not be able to see them. You will not be able to see their canoe close to the vessel. So they swim as much as they are close to the board of the vessel, and they find a way of entering the vessel with either rope. And it's a kind of tactical job they do. It's like if you are not able to swim and you don't know where and why the hull of the vessel is, or where the cargo you are looking for is, you can't just get into a vessel. So there are people that have mastered the overt of every vessel. They are the people that have mastered that particular vessel. Like if you want to look at a particular vessel, you can go online and check the way the vessel is built and check all the procedures, the entities of that particular vessel, the ash and the cargo, where the cargoes are being placed. You can check it. You can even track a vessel from where she loads from and all the port where she has been to, the time she has gotten to that port, the time she left that particular port. You can get to know every of those things on your phone. If you have the demise on your phone, you can get. So the pirates are the people that have gotten all this information and when a vessel gets to a place and when she has left that particular place. So they follow the ship up to a point where they feel they can strike. So basically they have information about the vessel. They have information about the crew members. They have information about the cargo the vessel is carrying and which of the ports she has gotten to. It is either because they didn't get the information across to the control systems, control place early enough. That's where piracy most eventually, is successful.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let's take the last one. Ugu Oyekachi. Come on with your question, please.
Yes. Good evening, professionals. Good evening, sir, presenter. Yes, it's sure a very enlightening section. I've sure added a lot to my knowledge. So my question is, are there enforcements and regulations to ensure that any worker or employee of a company is given that basic knowledge of swimming, exposed to that offshore environment? Are there enforcements to ensure that this person is trained, and has the survival as knowledge when exposed to the waters, or it's just that it's left with employers? The employer, whenever if he chooses to train, he trains. But is there an enforcement? That's what I want to know. Is there an enforcement and regulation? Yeah.
There is can I answer your question?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
There is a policy that any person that works in the marine sector must know the culture of that particular company where he or she want to work in. But the enforcement is still very slack. The enforcement is still very slack. And that is where the Safety Professionals Board comes in. That's why the Safety Professional Board comes in, whereby before you go into any marine type of work, you have to employ your company to train you beyond your basic knowledge. There's nothing bad in getting a job and telling your company, please, I need to be trained beyond my fair knowledge of this job. My fair knowledge of this job is basically theoretical. I need to be trained in the practical aspects, in the culture, in hazard identification, in the compliance nature of this job. It is when you are bold to talk that they will know that you know what you are doing. You won't say because you want to take the job, you are putting your safety at risk. And in most companies, they always give you a brochure of their culture, what you need to know about the company. A lot of people will not read through. Like me, when I was joining my place of work, I didn't get to know all the safety procedures and whatever. It is when I got to the job that I now begin to know what I need to have done. I need to have studied. I need to have learned. So most of these things that I supposed to have learned before I get to the job, I was now learning them after I've gotten the job, which in most cases should not have been. But as it is now, you will enjoy with me that the Safety Professionals Institute has come on board to see that all safety procedures, security procedures, and anything that entails safety are being trained, are being lectured in that place. So you have to be trained very well, and you have to know the kind of basic rules to know, the basic tools to have knowledge of before you join any marine related job. For instance, you must be able to swim. That's basic. That's basic.
Yeah, so I would like to say that. Okay, I would like to say that even the enforcement I'm even emphasizing on is not just the
I said
staff.
it's still slim. The enforcement is still slack. It's still slim. The enforcement in the area of Nimasa is still it has not been critically endeavored in all the marine and safety cultured environment. It is the matter that's supposed to enforce this in all areas, but it's still very slim, it's still very slack.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate your presentation and the response to the question asked. So this is a certificate of recognition we are presenting to you, Mr. Peter Abiri, for volunteering in SSP Nigeria as a speaker on security and safety procedures for maritime employees in Nigeria during the Knowledge Sharing Series 13 of November 14, 2020. So we are going to send this to you so that you can print and then keep for reference. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I'm very delighted. And the President too, I'm delighted.
Thank you very much, our presenter. Before we call it a day, I would like to invite our President-elect and then finally our President, if she's still online. Our President-elect to give a vote of thanks and then our President. President-elect, please, sir. President-elect, are you there?
He's not here.
Okay, our President, your vote of thanks, please. Our President.
Doug, I think you can go ahead.
Somebody may have to let her know that. Because
yes, sir. I'm with you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, our presenter. Thank you, the coordinator. It was a wonderful section. I was happy because I was able to listen to most of the points and the presentation that you made. Thank you. You really emphasized on the security that happens around the port. We're very grateful for sharing your knowledge with us today. I want to thank our coordinator.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am,
for always being there, standing in for Papa Napodia. Thank you, Secretary. And thank you for as many that took out time out of their busy schedule to join us for this section this evening. I really appreciate where in contribution and joining my voice to what had been said earlier, when it comes to piracy, for the man that asked the question, when it comes to piracy, it's a continuous thing that the government has always fought, and for deep water shores in marine, you continuously protect your ships, continue to protect the safety of your personnel. I think the government have been able to put legal structures behind legislations. NIMASA is working, the maritime safety, they are all in hand. There's a combined squad and military force on ground to ensure that safety is secured. There are professional gadgets that we use, to be able to watch out for long distance surveillance, just in case those seashores are not safe. Because what's it called? These pirates, they are everywhere. Just as the presenter said, they have monitors, sophisticated equipment that can even counter. They can even obstruct the signals just to ensure that they strike. So it's a continuous challenge that we're always having in the marine sector in terms of ensuring security. But each day as it passes, apart from control, technologies are improving every day. Newer ships are having signals that could detect a lot of frauds. And then there are alarm systems everywhere. You have to combine sort of all the forces together at strategic places on the high seas and even on board to ensure that personnel are safe. Because we actually don't look at property first when it comes to marine. The personnel on board or the ones working are what we actually look out for. And some of them are out there, not after you, but after the crew. So attack in any form is not allowed. But somehow we are trying to increase security and make sure that consciously as safety professionals work around the clock to come up with new research every day that can help us curb this piracy. So I am very grateful for these security tips today on the marine section for us. Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate you and hope to see you in our next meeting for next Saturday for our bar monthly meeting for another technical session. Until then, God bless you all.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Thank you. Thank you, and God bless you too. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Please, you need to rest. President, you need to rest now, please. Please find time to rest.
Yes, I will. I will. I just got into town trying to find my way home. Thank you.
Find place to rest, please.
Yes, sir.
So that I'll be able to have you all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so
So we
much.
formally declare the knowledge session closed. And thank you all and have a nice rest.
Thank you, Secretary. Our chairman, we thank you. Training coordinator, thank you for always being there. Thank you. Thank you.